Welcome to Ride Along. I'm Joe Monahan. Today, we're going to start a new series, and it's going to be about analogies. Now, the good news is I'm pretty good with analogies. The bad news is I tend not to remember them, so I guess it's the way to start archiving them. I'm able to create them, I guess, from my songwriting background from years past, very similar to how Brandon McCoy is able to create rap lyrics for all kinds of different subjects. If you haven't checked out his rap song on LinkedIn, I highly recommend it. He's also a brilliant guy, and I'm glad I'm able to work with him. So what we're going to do is pick a subject and kind of throw out analogies off the top of my head and see which ones kind of stick with you and work with you, and if they don't, that's fine. So we're going to start with the one that probably most people use, which is automobiles or vehicles, only because it's a common subject that most people can relate to. One of the things I always give as an example is I'm on a motorcycle right now. There's a big difference between reading about it, studying it, and doing it. And that's where expertise becomes very important. So as an example, if I put you on a path to ride a motorcycle and I let you read every book there is about riding one, that's all going to be great until you decide to let go of the clutch. And in that moment, you're going to realize experience is going to far outweigh theory, far outweigh it. In fact, when you take your motorcycle safety class, it's a 2-day class, and I'm not joking, the first half, if not 3/4 of day one, is learning how to use the clutch. That is not a joke. So that really kind of shines a light on the importance of experience. So that's a good analogy to kind of help somebody. It could be the same thing with a manual vehicle, like a 4 or 5 or 6-speed. Until you've actually let go of that clutch, all the books in the world really are not going to describe that feeling. Another good analogy that I like to give is about value and understanding the nuances of value. So, for example, if I sold you a Ferrari that could only use mini bike tires, it'd be a pretty amazing car until you tried to corner or go fast, and then you would see where your Ferrari isn't working the same as either your expectation or other Ferraris you may have test driven. Now, I know it sounds like a weird one, but really think about it. How many times you've gone out and looked over something with a fine-tooth comb, but haven't looked at the obvious things, right? Haven't dug in, and then you find out after you buy it, it's those little details that end up biting you later. Another car analogy that I like to give to people, which is funny, why do you put so much effort and, let's say, so much energy into the color of your car? If you really think about it, in reality, 90% of the time that you're driving, you're inside the car. The interior is really the thing you're going to be seeing the most. Well, for some people, when they walk out, they like to see the color. That's fine. Some people like to go to car shows and they want something unique. That's fine. But when we're talking about servers, do you buy servers because of the way the fascia looks? Because of the color of the fascia? And that's kind of an interesting theory, is if you're looking at two fascias and one looks really cool and the other one looks okay, does that mean the really cool-looking one is going to be better? And yet there are people that I have watched make that decision. Pretty amazing. Another car analogy is how much speed do you really need? And I've had people many a time go for very, very fast solutions, but those solutions will cash up really quick or break down a lot more often because they require a lot more finesse or a lot more post-configuration and maintenance. When I lived in South Florida, a lot of people owned some very fast cars that I knew. And some people would say this car goes 200 miles an hour. They know it doesn't. Yeah, it does. Prove it. Well, I mean, where am I supposed to do that? Well, okay. So really what matters is how fast does that car go from 0 to 70, which is the speed limit here, and more importantly, how reliable is it? I don't care if your car goes 300 miles an hour. If it's not running or if it's broken, it doesn't go any miles per hour. What a lot of people don't take into consideration is how important reliability is over speed. They all want speed. I want it now, I want it quick, I want to get back up and running. Well, what if you're back up and running and back down in a few hours or a few days? Or more importantly, what does it cost to maintain a Ferrari over an Impala? An Impala will get you where you need to go. It goes as fast as you need to go, but it's certainly not a Ferrari. You'll save a whole lot of money on both the initial price and maintenance on that car. Same thing with sometimes the hardware you're looking at. Those are a couple ways that I like to build analogies by looking at the subject, but the most important thing about building an analogy is you need to tie it to something that they will either understand or care about. And if you're doing analogies on boating and the person in front of you is in the cars or vice versa, it's not going to stick. Ask them questions, find out what somebody is interested in, and see if you can find a thread on that subject to tie your analogy to, and you'll build not only understanding, but rapport. And rapport is something that is not easy to come by nowadays. I hope you enjoyed this ride along. Have a great day.